So let's talk about building an audience. The first thing that you need to do if you want to become an influencer or whether it's a big influencer or micro influencer, is you have to build the audience. You can't deepen the relationship with people who don't exist. So you have to focus on building that audience. So in our example, we're talking about email. But again, it's the same if it was social media or any other platform. You want to get a group of people that are connected with you that you can communicate with on a regular basis. So you have to have a way to be able to communicate with them, and you have to get them to come to you in the first place. So the first step in building an audience is you have to get attention from strangers who may be prospects to become a member of your audience. So the first thing you want to think about is, based on the message that I'm going to share and what I want to teach and help people with, who is the ideal prospect? You have to know who it is that you're targeting. Targeting for your ads and your messages is as important as the message itself, probably more so, because you can have the ideal message, but if you put it in front of the wrong people, you're not going to get any result. The goal is to get a message market match. You need to know who your ideal prospect is. Think about that in the terms of an avatar. An avatar is a made-up personality, and then define everything that you know about that person. Let's talk about John. He's middle-aged, in his 40s. He's an accountant. He's disengaged with what he does at work. He's worked hard his entire life, but all he has is a little bit of savings to show for it and a lot of bills. And he's not happy with his job, and he goes in and he puts in his time every day, but he begrudgingly does so. And then he comes home at night and worries about his bills and how he's going to get everything paid. And he's really stressed about the fact that he's not saving enough money for retirement. And he knows in the future he's not going to be able to take care of his kids, and he's not going to be able to even take care of himself in retirement, that he's going to be dependent on just what the government gives him for retirement. And this is what keeps him up at night. He feels like he's doing a lot of work and that he is not accomplishing anything with his life. And then he turns on his television, or he opens up his Facebook or his Instagram, and he sees all these people who seem to just be crushing it. How do all these people on TV, on all these reality shows, have all this fancy cars and money? Like, what are they doing that I'm not doing? Are they smarter than I am? What is it? Why are they succeeding and I'm not? So he goes online. I hear, all of this potential that there is to be able to make money on the internet. There's got to be a way to do it. And he starts doing some Google searches. And he searches for things like make money from home, home-based businesses, work from home, freedom, and these kind of terms. From that, he starts to learn about the make money online business. There's your avatar. Notice how I described him as a person, not as a broad general, well, I'm looking for women between 35 and 55 and interested in gardening, right? That is a definition of someone that you can go and search for. But it's much better to understand them as a person, as an individual. And that same thing, it's not just John, our avatar. That same thing can apply to Mary, who isn't an accountant but has some other job, but has the same frustrations and the fears and the same wants and aspirations. Because ultimately, when you understand what's going on in their head and you understand what they're thinking about, then that allows you to come up with a message that's going to get their attention. And everybody is thinking about only two things: things that they want and don't have, or they're thinking about problems that they have and don't want. People are either moving away from their fears and their frustrations, or they're moving towards their wants and their aspirations. There's things you want, there's things you aspire to do, and you're moving towards those things. You want to do things that are going to move you closer to those things. But then you're also worried. You're worried about your retirement. John's worried about his retirement. What if he loses his job? He's frustrated by the fact that he spends 2 hours a day sitting in traffic, which is just wasting his life away. These are all things that you can use in your marketing to get their attention and then ultimately to get them to take action. So it's very important when you're trying to get attention from strangers who might be prospects to understand who it is you're looking for. Who is it that would be your ideal person in your audience? And then define that down and think about their fears and their frustrations and their wants and their aspirations. And all your marketing should address those things. Because when you do that, you're entering a conversation that's already going on in their head. They're already thinking about how worried they are about retirement. So when you come in and you say, concerned about living on cat food in the future, they're like, oh, that is what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking I'm not going to be able to afford food when I'm retired. That is the kind of thing you want to tie into. You got to understand your prospect. If you don't understand them, then you're not going to be able to appeal to them. You're not going to be able to create content that interests them. You have to know who it is you're looking for. And then once you know who they are, you have to offer them something that they want. In marketing terms, we usually think of that as a compelling lead magnet. A compelling lead magnet is something that you can offer them in exchange for their email address that is going to help solve those fears and frustrations, or is going to help them move towards their wants and aspirations. And for the average person, just as a note, their fears and their frustrations are far more powerful motivator than their wants and their aspirations. They're much more moving away from than moving towards. Some people are moving towards people, some people are moving away from people, but people are more motivated by what they're trying to escape than what they're trying to gain. When you think about that, you want to come up with a lead magnet which offers a potential solution to that thing that they're waking up in the middle of the night worrying about, to the fear and frustration, or a solution for how they can move faster to their wants and their aspirations. It's not going to take them the whole way, but it's going to start them in the process. It's going to start them on the journey. And there are 3 elements of a good lead magnet that you want to make sure that it has. The first one is what I said. It needs to be an offer of a solution to a problem that they have, or a faster way to get to their wants and aspirations. The second part of a good lead magnet is that it needs to be something they can consume quickly. It is a false belief to believe that more is better when it comes to lead magnets. If you say, sign up and get a free copy of my 50-page book, that's actually not as good a lead magnet as sign up to get my 3-page report. And I'll tell you why. It might sound like it's more compelling. Give them more, you might get higher conversions. But the reality is you don't just want to give them the lead magnet and then don't worry what they do with it. You want them to consume it. Because when they read the lead magnet and they put what you say in it into action and they get a positive result, then you've done the ideal thing. You've delivered results in advance. You have helped them get results to solve their problem or to accomplish their goals before you ever ask them for money. So when they read that lead magnet and they go put your tips to action, they are going to actually assign that win back to the relationship with you. So you gave them something, it was super good, super useful, and they actually got results from it. That is the ideal situation to be in with any kind of a lead magnet that you give away. And then the third important part of a good lead magnet is that it's action oriented. So you don't want it to be just about theory. You want to give them some things and tell them directly, go do this right now. And knowing that if they go take that action, then they're going to be much more invested in the relationship with you and with the lead magnet. So it's got to be something compelling, something that when the person who has that problem reads the title of your free report, they go, I gotta have a copy of that. So if you're waking up in the middle of the night worried, I'm just not getting enough conversions on the traffic in my business. If that's your problem, and that's the problem you want to help people solve, and they see your lead magnet, and your lead magnet is 5 secret ways to double conversions in 15 days, you don't have a choice. You have to get that report. It's a fast solution to your number one problem. You're willing to give up your email address for that. Getting an opt-in is like making a sale, except no money transfers. There's still a transfer of value. You're giving them something of value, a lead magnet which helps to solve a problem, and they're giving you something of value, their email address. It's like a sale, and you need to think of it and treat it like a sale.